Mayor, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks for returning. I'm going to try to get to the bottom of what Christine said about you. She called you a liar.
I just do me a favor, because I texted you like 20 times when she said that. If she calls back in, ask her specifically what job, when that happened, because I haven't talked to her in months. When did Mayor offer you this? What job? She's an East Chicago resident. How could I do that? It's illegal in Hammond Ordinance to hire an East Chicago resident. It's impossible for me to hire Christine Sid, even if I wanted to, which I don't. But never will.
Everybody, good morning. It is producer Joe on my last day of work, and I'm sorry for a little bit of a late start. I'm sure the people in the YouTube comments will be more than mad at me, but it's fine. We're here. We're getting started. We got a full day. We got North Township trustees coming in at 7:30. We'll be back with the morning show at 8, and then we have Mastering Local Marketing afterwards. But until then, you have us. It's me. It's Dan Repay. He's over there doing some stuff, so I'm going to give you guys the traffic and the weather real quick. It's not much to say as far as traffic goes. Obviously, it's early in the morning, but you are starting to already get a buildup out in 94 West, kind of by the intersection with 57. And then you are also getting some backup already on the Stevenson Expressway heading north. But other than that, it's all green. It's all good. It's 6:05 in the morning. So, and then as for the weather, today, Thursday, May 28th, it's going to be a high of 65 and a low of 54, mostly sunny, breezy, but it's not going to be as warm just because of the winds, but it is going to be a real feel of around 67. And then Friday, it's going to be a high of 74, low of 57, real feel of 81 with plenty of sun. It's going to be a very nice day. Saturday is going to be much of the same. It's going to be a high of 86 and a real feel of 71. Lots of sun, and it's going to feel nice and warm. Sunday, to round off the weekend, it's going to be a high of 68, low of 59, and a real feel of 74, so much of the same. And it's going to be mostly sunny, so enjoy it. It's really starting to feel like summer now. Dan, are you ready to talk?
I'm ready to talk. It sounds like when you said I'm doing something, it's like I was doing something really productive. Actually, I was just putting notes down because, as everyone knows, this isn't my day job, although I consider myself Jim's snooze button, so it allows him to come in a little bit later. And you know, I was just writing down some notes of things happening, going on in the world today, and you know, some things that I don't want to forget to mention. We have the North Township show at 7:30. I also have two other people that I called in or asked to come in or talk, and that's Latanya Spearman from the Lake County Assessor's Office. She'll be calling in shortly after 7 o'clock, and the reason, because I want people to at least listen to her, is that the appeals for your taxes. Everyone, complains about taxes and is concerned about their taxes. They're getting letters and unsolicited mail for, hey, I can help you fix your taxes. I think Latanya will be able to tell you how to appeal your taxes if you think your assessment is too high, and the process, fairly easy process. You don't have to share if you're successful, you don't have to share that win with anybody else besides yourself. So that's a good thing. I also have Phil Talon coming in from the SSCVA, South Shore Convention and Visitors Authority. Phil and I are friends, but he called me up and said, hey, can I come on? I want to explain some things. We're going to talk a little Bears. He wants to talk a little bit about upcoming events. And so that is going to be at 8 o'clock. So we're going to get sandwiched in between. We have North Township at 7:30. So the tax talk at 7, 7:30, we got North Township. 8 o'clock, we have Phil Talon from the SSCVA, and then 8:30 is who you said we have a show at 8:30. Hanson.
Mastering Local Marketing starts at 8:30. At least on the schedule, that's what it says.
Well, if it is, it is.
I think it's 8:30 or 9. Honestly, I'm still not sure.
If he's there, he's there. If he's not, we'll talk about more. The early part. You were mentioning more of the same with the weather. I will tell you, I could probably get used to doing this if the weather was always like it was this morning. I mean, it's nice and cool and crisp, and driving in, I did forget my earphone, so I apologize. I'm going to have to get probably charged for my payroll or my expenses for that.
All 25 cents at that.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to drop a quarter on the way out. But yeah, so we've got a full pack. And by the way, if you're out there and you want to be on the radio and you want to talk about things, or you're either a local leader, you've got a fundraiser coming up. I think in a couple weeks you've got St. James Fest, so you're not going to be here, by the way. Congratulations on your last day. I'm very privileged to be here. It's like the Stephen Colbert show right now, right? Do we have any special guests for you for your last show?
That would be funny. No, I don't think any of my friends get up in time.
I was going to say, I don't think your parents are coming in. I don't know if any of your friends. I wasn't told of anything. However, usually...
Maybe on Tuesday I'll have some friends come in, because that's today is my last day working, but Jed asked me to come in on Tuesday.
Maybe that's the special surprise.
Yeah, right. My family flies in.
Big.
You had a great year, Joe.
Right. Congratulations. It's been 1 year that you've been doing this.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, I was just taking down some notes, and I'm going to try not to offend too many people, but if you want to come in, for instance, I just found out, not a classmate, but he was 1 year older than I was, Rick Strababi from the Whiting Robertsdale neighborhood. He's a Bishop Knoll guy, Bishop Knoll football. They won the state championship with him. This is not a Bishop Knoll entry or anything. Trust me, I'm not that petty, but he's just a good dude. As a matter of fact, if you go down to Luke's down the way, he's on the billboard there with the guy with the sunglasses. So anyways, he's fallen onto some health issues that has caused him not to work, and sort of probably very similar to most communities. Everyone's going to get together and try to raise some funds for him because he's not able to work right now, and he still has some health expenses. And so I'm going to try to find someone that could speak for that or to that, to see if, how to help people out. Usually, folks in Whiting, Robertsdale, they hang together really well. And so, Rick was a good dude. And he still is a good dude. And he's just, he's someone that I like to help. And if I can get the word out, I know it's on social media. But not everyone's on social media. I don't know, not sure many, but there are some people that aren't it. So, that's something. So if you are out there, SSCVA wants to come on, if whatever, it's your show. It's like, I'm just here to just basically take up space in some case. I got some items that I like to discuss. But if whatever you want to talk about, I mean, I wake up this morning and, we're still at war with Iran. And if you want to talk about that, that's exciting, but it's just, it's one of those things that never ending. I don't know we were on, I think early on was MX came on and called and was, talking about the war, and we needed the war. We had to get rid of Iran. And my question to him, and I still remember, was, well, how's this going to end? Because you're not going to be able to necessarily, I don't think, negotiate with Iran. I don't think you could probably trust them. And, I wake up this morning and now we're bombing again. So I don't know how you can get a peace deal that close to after bombing them. I'm not sure they're going to trust you. And quite honestly, even if you pass the peace deal, you're not going to necessarily get there. So
someone asked about the dirty cops involved with a Greek gambling ring in the area. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about that, but you start seeing things dribble out about that's regarding the 22 individuals that got arrested and charged for basically having an illegal gambling operation, which I'm sure for every one there's probably 10 more. I mean, I unfortunately would tell you that about before DraftKings became readily available or whatever the other ones, FanDuel and everyone else. I mean, it was typical that you knew someone that could place a bet, whether it was for horse racing or otherwise. You see in the documents coming out that they alluded to 3 people in that were in the law enforcement. They alluded to federal folks that sort of covered them or made sure that they were okay. I'm sure there's going to be other people involved with this. On its face, everyone, you talk to your friends and you're like, well, what'd they do wrong? Well, I mean, they ran a gambling operation. They probably didn't pay taxes on the money that they won. All right. I mean, is that the most darn critical? Tax evasion, get it. Go pay your taxes. Not sure, we're sentencing people to death. I get it. Someone's going to say, well, but they threatened the daughter. They threatened, I'll just say you, Joe. I threatened you I was going to get your mother. But the question then becomes, and by the way, this is not legal advice. This is not anything, but I'm just talking to people that are attorneys. They go, but did they do that? I mean, did they go to Valparaiso or did they just tell Joe that he was going to go to Valparaiso and get his out? I mean, they may have never stepped one foot on that campus. I think that's what ultimately led to people getting involved in this more hastily as far as getting to the bottom of it. But I mean, if there's cover up and there's other issues, then that's going to be a problem for them. I mean, if you got law enforcement, and we've got in the paper, you have the new Chicago police chief. Like, I don't get that one at all. Like, that one never can, so according to the paper and according to sources, there was a gun that was confiscated and the chief supposedly thought, you know what, no one's going to miss this gun. I'm just going to go ahead and pawn it. I mean, the gun probably is worth $100 that he pawned. And then all of a sudden, oops, it may go to trial. I need that gun back. He sends his girlfriend, supposedly, to go to the pawn shop to get the gun back. It's like, I don't know. You've certainly watched Monday Night Football. There was a segment on there that was, come on, man. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you thinking at that point? Like, really? You're just going to think that no one's going to forget the gun? I mean, New Chicago's 1 square mile, and there's maybe 10,000 residents in the whole thing, and you've got a police chief now that supposedly is taking some things. He had some substances that probably he wasn't prescribed and got maybe possibly illegally. I'm using all those great terms because I have to make sure we cover WGOB and myself.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, supposedly. But I mean, it's like, you look around, you're like, you're the chief, you're making decent money, and you're pawning things for $100. Like, if it's at $100, you got bigger problems than that. I mean, then you can go into, we're going off of the original person's question about law enforcement, and then you go into the whole idea of Winfield. Like, they had a bust, a raid. They had 90-some thousand, I believe, in money that was, seized, and then all of a sudden they go back and they're like, hey, so 30,000's missing. Like, once again, Winfield, small operation. So there's going to be limited people that have access to that area of evidence or inventory. I mean, it's going to turn into what we'll do full circle. I'll bet that person has possibly a gambling issue or wanted to take a trip to Disney World. But other than that, you say we have a phone call. I must have offended someone really early already. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Yeah, this Winfield thing is a little shocker. I thought that's where all the high-end people live and never touched by crime or corruption. How did this happen?
That's a great question. When I read it, I was like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, for a couple of reasons, as I said, it's so small that, I mean, there's limited people. It's not like it's Chicago. If you're Chicago and you got 30,000 police officers and endless amounts of people that could be in and out of that building, well, there's not going to be that many people in Winfield. There's probably a handful of people. And so, it's just, and like I don't even,
Mayberry.
Yeah. And they don't even, do they have a chief, or do they have I think they have a marshal or a warden, don't they? They don't even have a police chief. So, I mean, we're going back into the Maryville one. Not the Maryville one, the New Chicago one. How about this? So New Chicago, the nominee for the Democratic Party, that's his son. That was the police chief that's alleged to have done this, and he's running for sheriff now. I think I read that the Lake County Sheriff is leading the investigation into what happened in New Chicago. Now, you can't necessarily go to the state police, because if you go to the state police, well, the father's, that's his former job. He was a major. I mean, and there's no say of the father being anywhere near this, and it needs to be perfectly clear. But you have to make sure there's a clear delineation in protocol. Like, maybe you should call, I don't know, the South Bend or what is that? I'm trying to think what county that South Bend I used to know. Whatever, Elkhart County, call Elkhart County to come in and do an investigation. I just think it's a little bit weird. Not to say that there's anything, but I mean, you just want to make sure that it's perfectly clear. Hey, look, he did X, he didn't do X, move on and go. But yeah, Winfield sort of shocked me. I'm going, man, they have $90,000 and all of a sudden 30,000 is missing. I mean, I don't think that's going to take very long to determine who could possibly have maybe thought they borrowed it or they lost it, or they took it out for a walk. I don't know what they did, but your guess is as good as mine.
Well, when I clicked on my radio this morning, I heard the voice of Mayor McDermott from Hammond.
Oh, really?
And yes, they were talking. It was a recycling of an old show going back to the days when they instituted the county income tax.
Yep.
And it was interesting to hear his logic. Everybody else in Indiana's got a county income tax, and now we do. It sounds to me like the logic peddled by Democrat officials around the country when it came to issues of fakery and handing out social welfare benefits. Their response was, well, it's going on every place else. What are we going to do about it, And Mayor McDermott kept repeating the thing of we now have what everybody else has. Well, how many other counties in Indiana, most of whom were Republican dominant, how many of them have steel mills and oil refineries to suck up their pollution? How many had casinos? And Lake County had 3. One in Gary, one in Hammond, one in East Chicago. And there was a time when the whole casino thing was being debated because there was a lot of popular opposition to it. And the idea of having the casinos and the powers that be of the Democrat Party kept saying, we're not going to shove this down your throat. We're going to have a countywide referendum until the Democrats realized that there was real opposition to casinos, legalized gambling in Lake County. And all of a sudden, they stopped talking about a county-wide referendum on gambling, and limited to the towns where it was proposed to have the casinos: Gary, Hammond, and East Chicago. And of course, they then proceeded to lie to say, if you vote for this, you're going to get all kinds of jobs, right? But another thing that other counties don't have, most of whom are dominated by Republicans around the state, how many of them have the corrupt government that we have here in Lake County? How many have sent on a regular basis their politicians off to the federal slammer for official corruption? How many have had the chairman of the Republican Party in their county sent off to the federal slammer? None. Lake County is unique.
Well, here's what I'll just because I unfortunately or fortunately have been in the discussions before the income tax, and quite honestly, I think it was the folks down in the legislature maybe possibly jealous of the fact that Lake County didn't have an income tax. And I will tell you that I was, in my former life on the council, was told that you won't, because there was a point where we were trying to get basically what they call a stiff district, which is sales tax increment financing. Our argument was at the time that we get a lot of people in from Illinois that take advantage of our services, or whether it's our grocery stores or restaurants. And so there was an argument that says, well, why don't we capture some of the local visitors from that? And they said, hey, look, you can't do that until you get an income tax. And they wouldn't pass anything. Well, it's not that I don't think anyone really wanted it, but they said, unless you do, you're not going to get much help for yourself. And so that was the discussion. Not saying I wanted an income tax, and you're right, we are unique. But I will also tell you, we're not unique to corruption, because although on the scale, yes, Lake County, and we also live here, so we get more. But if you pick up the Indianapolis Star or any publication down south, I mean, there were just a couple sheriffs that got in trouble for, their wife was the person in charge of the jail, and they were getting secret contracts. I don't think that's a unique thing. That's unfortunate that happens in it. That's why I'm not a big fan of the Shared Ethics Policy Committee. I'm sorry, but I don't think you can teach ethics to an individual. Like you can't teach me ethics. I can't teach you ethics. You know what's right or wrong. Like we all do. And then it's just a matter of, can you stop yourself from going, but it's only going to be one time. It's going to be just, going back to Winfield. I know taking $30,000 is not the right thing to do. I mean, you don't have to go to a shared ethics class or sign a pledge for that. You just know that's not the right thing because it's not yours. But I mean, they do it, and then you have to pay the consequences. So yes, we've had our share of
on the scale, it's off the chart.
But I will tell you this: there's a couple, like I said, just recently.
It's so regular, we're hardly shocked.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right?
Look, we've had our share. We've had East Chicago. We've got all kinds of good things going on. So, but you know what? At the end of the day, how about this one? And I think, I don't know. Do we have another phone call, or can we keep going? We got a break here in 1 minute or 2 minutes. But here's who I want to have on. I want to have Mayor Snyder on from Portage. Now, talk about a guy that was accused of wrongdoing. His case went all the way to the Supreme Court, adjudicated, said, you know what? You're okay. Now, whether you agree with it or not agree with it, the Supreme Court says, yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. Now, for 10 years, his life has been drawn out, and everyone pretty much assumed, which is common up in Lake County, well, they gotta, and he was from Porter County, but you get elected official, right. He's got to be guilty. And I'd just love to sit down and honest to God, just talk to him, whether it's here or have a beer or wherever and just go, man, for 10 years you've been battling. I can't imagine the amount of stress on you financially, your family. I mean, not many people want to go hang out with him, I guess, but now you look at him and go, wow, he's now not made a redemption, but he has sort of been exonerated. He's been exonerated except for, I think, one issue that I guess he didn't pay taxes on. Not saying that's to be minimalist. It's just something that you look at and go, there's someone that worked his butt off. His attorneys did as well to prove his case to be okay. So with that, Joe's telling me I got a break. So thank you for the call, and thank you for bringing up some of the things that I really want to talk about, which was this issue we got. So thanks, and we'll go to break, and then on the return, we have 2 callers when we return. Hold on, callers. We got plenty of people to offend.
Yeah. Stay there. We'll be right back on WJOB, 1230 AM, 104.7 FM. Stay right here. We'll be right back after a few short messages.
Introducing Powers Health, a health system with a new name and a strong legacy of caring for families in our community. One with a tradition of advanced specialized services and a vision for the future. One with a commitment to medical excellence and compassionate care. Everything we do, everything we believe, powers health.
100 years, Roofers Local 26 has been keeping Northwest Indiana dry and safe. Since 1919, our highly trained members have built a reputation for skills, safety, and reliability. With a 4-year apprenticeship and certifications in OSHA safety, first aid, and CPR, we deliver quality you can trust. When you need roofing done right, choose Roofers Local 26, protecting what matters most for over a century. For more information, visit www.roofers26.com.
Ogren Insurance, Hammond's oldest family-owned independent insurance agency, now in its 3rd generation providing clients in the Chicago area with products from quality insurance companies to handle your every need. Regardless of driving history, Ogren Insurance can find the right coverage for you at competitive prices. To learn more about the insurance solutions and services we offer throughout Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or visit our website, ogreninsurance.com. We're located at 6929 Homan Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. Do business locally with someone you know and trust.
Welcome back, everyone, to WJLB. It's just before 6:30 on your Thursday morning. It is a great morning. The traffic is clear and the weather is pretty nice. So, welcome aboard. Over the phone, we've got 3 phone callers. So just let's let them rip.
Actually,
and let's
go. Traffic is not good. I thought it was going to be better.
Traffic was fine. I just looked at it. It went awry quickly.
Yeah, I guess so. But so I do have to give a quick.
Go ahead.
So sorry. All right. So we're starting to get traffic build up a lot on 94 West, heading virtually all the way into the city, starting back where we talked about originally, on kind of that intersection near 57 North. 57 North is now getting backed up around that same area into the merger, but as well as Stevenson, the Stevenson Expressway heading north is backed up. The south as well. I'm not sure that's really relevant, but the north is very backed up. The Eisenhower heading east and west is also very backed up. 94 West, if you're heading all the way out into Rosemont, if you work out there, it shouldn't be too bad once you get through the city until you really get kind of by the airport. But other than that, that's about everything. So keep in mind, traffic is not looking good today. I don't know.
Stay home.
I don't know what it's been like. The other day I was driving around doing some errands, and oh my God, I felt like every place was like, I don't know if it was construction, but I felt like
that's what it is.
I felt like every place was like just so slow. Well, even the place that didn't have construction, it was backed up everywhere.
Because everyone's trying to avoid construction.
30, 41.
I will tell you, in my
roads,
day job, Little Cal Commission, we're redoing the Kennedy Avenue Bridge. That's going to go down to 1 lane in each direction here in the next 2 weeks. They've already limited the northbound lanes, which, by the way, I'm not speaking for them during this program. I was told I was have to put a disclaimer, but everyone knows that. But yeah, everyone's just avoiding traffic. The new traffic patterns will emerge, and then once you figure that all out, guess what? The season will end, winter will start, and then construction stops, and then we'll do it all again next year. So
I actually, I received a notice from my parents the other day that I got my first warning
from
my first traffic warning in
from
Connecticut.
Those red light cameras?
No, in Connecticut in my dad's truck actually for going like. They had like I guess they're adding cameras like just to like regular roadways out there, especially like highways because I guess they have a lot of accidents. But I was caught doing like
you were
40
in a 25.
In a 25.
Nice, good for you.
Yeah,
you should at least you're owning it. And I'll tell you what, guess what? Those cameras they run with data. So we're talking about data centers if you want to, and we can talk about all the fun stuff.
Perfect transition to the 4 callers that we have waiting
I love
for
it.
us.
Let's go.
All right. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning.
Mr. Repay, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, remind me again who's leading that new Chicago investigation?
Well, according to the paper, it looks to be the Lake County Sheriff's Department is leading that investigation.
Hey, Professor Walt, here's a phrase from your heyday. Fox guarding the hen house.
Yeah, I mean, I just think you need to have a clear break. And if you want to have some outside agency, just to protect everybody, both the accused and the people doing the investigation, my belief, not a law enforcement, go get the Porter County Sheriff's Office and do that. Just so that, look, because no matter what, the Lake County Sheriff's, that's interesting. That same person may or may not be the next whatever. It's just, to me, you just get someone outside. Heck, sorry, wrong word. I don't know if that's a bad word. Go get someone from Illinois, to have them come in. It's just, it's been done before. I mean, anything involves shootings, where there was unfortunately a shooting on 94. What was it? Sunday night, Indiana State Police in Hammond were involved, my understanding. So I got to imagine they've got to have another outside agency doing that investigation to make sure the I guess the entanglement or the shootout was justified. So yeah, it's just something. Personally, I'd want someone outside just for all parties considered. So
you made the comment. You made the comment in reference to New Chicago that the guy was making a great salary. And according to the paper, it was $100,000 for a 1 square mile job.
Yeah.
Not bad. Hey, one other thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of corruption and just not having any integrity at all, could you maybe ask Phil Talon to tell me what a great guy Dave Uran is?
I can try. I mean, I know Dave Uran and I like Dave. I don't know what happened during his tenure there, but to me, he's always been good, and he's a pretty darn good referee. So I will ask Phil.
Everybody's a great guy. Everybody's a great guy in Lake County, aren't they?
But here's
Have
the thing.
Have a good day.
No, wait, hold on. You can't hang up. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Do you know anybody in your life that you were like, I'm friends with whatever, Joe or Bob or whoever you want to be friends with, and then all of a sudden something comes out like, ooh, I wasn't aware of that. I mean, look, you can't say that you haven't. I have. There's times all the time that go, wow, I never saw that side of that individual. It's not to say that that person was never bad to me. They may have done things that were incorrect, and they'll pay for those, but I'm not a big person that will just dump someone in the grease. They were good to me. What they did in their personal life and what they did professionally, that's on them. I may not agree with it, but it's just what it is.
So at what point do you say, hey, we can't be friends anymore? This is absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, I've had those situations before where people have cheated me personally out of money and have tried to basically, they were lying about me and try to take me out. For sure, those people I'm not friends with anymore, and we all have those people too. Look, there's people I love this, but just really quickly is I love the people that go on Facebook and that aren't necessarily my friends. And if you're not on Facebook, I get it. But on Facebook, you either have friends or you don't have friends. But most of the times than not, you have mutual friends. The great thing is when people that I know of that I'm not directly friends with, boy, they just love to talk great trash to people about me. And the funny thing is my mutual friends share that information with me, and I just put that in the back of my mind, and I know, but I think society right now is it's so easy for everyone to get on their little computers and hate, write, and post things. But the reality is when we were growing up, right, I'm sure if you don't have the guts to say it to someone's face, then don't have much use for you. So I'm just of the opinion, like, I've known Dave. I know Dave. I dealt with Dave when he was in the city of Crown Point, but I'm not in Dave's day-to-day life. But you know, he apparently did some things that were not so great.
We have coworkers, we have acquaintances, we have people that we run into. Friends should be a special word.
100% agree. 100% agree. And when my parents told me that you would only have a handful of friends, like that would be with you for the rest of your life, I'm like, no way, Mom. Like you would go through the whole litany of people that you went to school with. But it's 100% true. I could count on one hand the people that I trust 100% fully outside of family that I really trust. Everyone else, not that I don't. But I don't sit there and share my business with everybody. And I know there's always a reason for relationships. Some people want something and need something and whatever. So I try to be as honest with people as possible.
Is Taylon going to take calls?
I don't know. I hope so. If we can make it work. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Have
a
great day.
Thank you. Next caller. Sorry about that. It took a little bit longer. I know we are running up against a lot of different things. So what do you got? Next caller. Good morning.
So this moron good morning. So this moron chief in New Chicago. Well, I've never sold a firearm at a pawn shop before, but I do know that if it's a legit pawn shop, they're going to run the serial number on the gun, and if the serial number is ground off it, they're not even going to buy it. So this idiot brought a serial number, a firearm with a serial number on it, to a pawn shop. How stupid could you be?
Allegedly, supposedly, yes, that's true. And I think from my understanding of it is that's how they knew that's where it was. They were going to, being the feds were going to confiscate it because the pawn shop, as you said, I've never pawned a gun at a pawn shop either. But I would imagine when the feds probably ran, okay, well, where's the number at? Oh, it was just pawned here. I think that when that was sort of an idea, I think the gentleman allegedly had his friend try to go buy it back, and it was too late at that point. So I don't get it, man. Trust me, it's something.
I don't get it.
I just, like, in my head, I'm going, think about it. It's like, where do you think you were not going to get caught in this equation? Like, it's I don't know.
It's mind-boggling. I don't get it. Maybe, you know what they should do? They should have Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, run the investigation, and maybe he could just say it was a unlawful gathering of evidence at a pawn shop, and we'll just wash this right under the rug and be done.
Don't start me with that, because I'm going to tell you, like, the teen takeover. I'm going, here's what the teen takeover would look like when I was growing up, and I always thought that I wasn't going to use a lot of different terms, but when I was your age, I'm going to tell you, if there was a teen takeover in my house and I was at a teen takeover, there would be no teen takeover for Dan anymore. Dan wouldn't see the light of day. He may come out for maybe food and maybe bathroom breaks, but like 3 a.m, how do you not know where your kid is? Like, I get it. Look, I was not a perfect kid. I was not a perfect kid. And yes, there could have been some escapes out some bedroom windows, maybe, possibly. But like, there's got to be a point where like, hey, it's 3 a.m. Like, and I believe it was Sunday night. So I think school's starting, which that's going to lead me into another discussion. But yeah, teen takeover, there wouldn't be. And I'm finally glad that he's starting to recognize like, yeah, the kids are young and dumb, but there's also parents that need to be involved here. And if you're not involved and you don't know where your kids are, I mean, how many apps, like when we were growing up, I'm assuming, I don't know what your age is, but we didn't have apps. I told my parents I was going to, Bob's house, and they were hoping I was at Bob's house. I could have been at the beach. I could have been at a whole bunch of places. But now you have all these apps that Find My Friend, People Tracker, I Can Find You Everywhere. Like, they got everything. And you're like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where my son or daughter is. And geez, I don't know how they got a gun either. And I don't know. I'm like, there's mind-boggling things in this world. And that, my friend, is one of them. I don't understand the teen takeover.
Hey, you know what, though?
Go ahead.
You know what, though? Maybe it's because those CPS students are so advanced and so ahead of the curve. They could afford to miss a day of school.
I don't think anybody should miss school. Look, kids are kids, and we've all done dumb things in our lives. But if this is now a new thing, this is a bad thing, because it just doesn't end well. Like your parents probably always said, nothing good happens after midnight. Right. And I told my kid the same thing.
Nope.
Like, nothing good happens. I get it. You want to hang out, but there's a lot of bad things that could happen. And some things that are bad are unintentional. It's just things that happen. Like, just nothing. You can talk to any police officer you want. Nothing really is good happening after midnight. So with that, I think we got another. Do we have another caller? We do. So I appreciate the phone call.
Hey, you know what? I really do like your show. You run a good show, man. It is. It's good.
Thank you. I'm gonna hopefully get hired one day and I could retire. We can talk about retirement too.
Go.
I'm going to offend multiple people today. Well, next caller, it's 6:43 on WJOB. Good morning. Good morning.
Well, the saying that no good things happen after midnight aren't necessarily true. Because if you ask Dave Uran, he'll be the one to tell you it was after midnight when he was banging his understudy in the theater over there at the Lake County, Lake County Visit Center, allegedly. But I digress. You're talking about the Porterhouse Parlay case earlier?
Yeah.
And how there could be some law enforcement were involved with that.
That's what the documents say.
It would blow my mind if it doesn't come to light that all the tens of thousands of dollars that our current sheriff, Oscar Martinez, spent in there weren't to pay off gambling debts that he had accrued through the Greek mafia there at Geno's. It would literally blow my mind. That guy is as crooked as the day is long. He has to have more involvement that has come out to light so far on that case. He is going to go down with this as well, and add that to his storied list of illegal activity that he's been involved with as sheriff and even before getting caucused in as sheriff. But again, I digress. Dave Uran is a good guy. Ain't no big deal. He was stupid some chick when he had a wife and kid at home. And one last thing, repeal the Lake County the Little River Basin ban Little Feet tax. It's time for the Little Calumet River Basin tax to go away. With that, one more thing.
Yeah.
Kuziak sucks. I'm out.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure who the caller was, but anyways, I'll address some of the issues.
Hold on. We have one more caller. You can address the issues first. Let's try to refrain from insulting each other on air or making any accusations that we don't know 100% are true.
I agree with that. That's why I was trying to interrupt. But I mean, look, I'm not here, and anyone that wants to cast the first stone, I'm not saying. Sometimes you have some things that boggle your mind. I'm not in people's personal life, as I told the previous caller to that. Is like, look. You have friends that and then, sometimes things shock you. Now, they could be the extreme. They could be one way or the other. But, you live and learn. We're not in everyone's bedroom. I'm not in everyone's bedroom. I'm not in everyone's social circle. things you have them in different relationships. So I to the question about the Little Calumet River base attacks, I think I know who the caller is. Unfortunately, the way that it's set up is we don't really take care of rivers and streams and ditches the way we should. And I will say this: we're the Little Cal folks. We're open. You can ask me anything, any expenditure them there. I can tell you I've spent a total of, in 16 years there, 3 nights, I think, in Indianapolis, and that's the extent of any travel or any excursions that we've had. So I appreciate the phone call. I don't, like I said, you're not going to agree with me. You're not going to disagree with me. It's okay. So we're all good. But yes, to Joe's point, you don't have to disparage someone. You can say you have a feeling, this is what you think, but I'm not into... I don't really get into that. I don't want to bury anyone. I have some comments and questions, but we'll move on. So it's 6:46. We have one more phone caller. At least 2 more, maybe. Go ahead. Phone call.
How you doing, Dan? How you doing, Joe?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Lunch menu, Dave. Was down in Griffith over the past weekend and back at my new home in Illinois, or relatively new home, I suppose.
Are you in Illinois right now?
Well, former Griffith resident, and now living in Illinois. Yeah.
All right. Well, why'd you move to Illinois? Just curious. That's a different. So it comes down to one of my brothers who's kind of serving as my guardian these days, lives up this way. So, well, that's a good enough reason for me. It's good to be with family.
Yeah, that's part of it. But part of why I came down to Indiana too. Got one brother in Indiana, one brother in Illinois, and one brother all the way out in Arizona.
Well, I'll tell you what. In the winter, you might want to go visit that brother in Arizona.
Yeah.
Much nicer
if I
weather.
kind of had the money to do it, you know what
I understand. I completely understand. I'm just saying from a weather perspective. I will tell you today I could take 100 todays.
Yeah.
So what else you got? What's on your mind?
Yeah, so it was down in Indiana over the weekend, kind of amongst other things, trying to get my wedding party situated, or starting to get my wedding party situated.
Okay.
Planning on getting married in a couple of years.
Congratulations.
And speaking of things, this being lunch menu, Dave, I got a proposition for one Mr. Jim Delo as to whether he wants, asking him, and maybe he's listening, maybe he's not listening at the moment, but got a proposition for him to be one of my groomsmen.
Well, I think you know what? I'm going to accept on his behalf. I'm going to tell him that he is in. And if you already have an officiant, I mean, do you have someone that's gonna marry you?
We're kind of working through these things right now.
Well, I'm going to tell you. I think if you invite Jim to be the groomsman, I think his wife Alexis would probably be able to sort of kind of marry you. I think that'd be a 2-for-1 proposition there. I'm volunteering both of them now at this point. So think about it. Just think about it.
Would Alexis be legal to marry us in Illinois by any chance, you think?
I think you could. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to do it. She's an attorney, so I think there's a way to do that. So I'm sure even if it gets a one-time thing, and right now they're probably screaming at me for volunteering them. But when do you propose to get married? Let's see if we can get their date locked in here. What's the date you're looking at?
Right now we're looking at a couple years out, 2028. We don't have an official date within 2028 settled yet. We're hoping to have a thought on that come like mid-September as to more of an official date. The fiance's actually got a brother in Arizona too that's coming out this way in mid-September, and he comes out like once every couple of years. So we're hoping to time the wedding with next time he's due to come out after this year.
I think that's a great thing. Don't rush into marriage. It's okay. Hold out as long as you can. I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding.
Oh, trust me. Trust me, I am.
All right.
Even though if my fiance hears this, I might get in hot water.
Yeah, don't. Well, we didn't have that discussion. That's fine. I understand. I appreciate the phone call. We got. I think we got one more coming in, so we'll take that one. Or Joe, do we got it or no? They hung up. They hung up. We gotta go. We're going to a break early. Boy, I really have 3 or 4 more things that I want to make people upset about.
You can say something if you want. We still have time. I mean, I'm just trying to 20, 25 minute segments. You're about 21 minutes in.
All right. Well, here's we've already talked about, here's the thing that I woke up to this morning was I put on Twitter is the fact that what Jill Biden now said, she thought her husband might have had a stroke on the debate stage. I'm going yeah, I think everyone knew that. And I think it goes to the point where you weren't born this time, but Ronald Reagan was known to have suffered from Alzheimer's with in the later stages of his presidency. I think there's a point in time where you probably just need to hang it up, and that goes for everything. That's including myself. There's a point where they don't have pilots for aircraft, I think, after 65. Now, I'm sure there are some pilots that can still fly to 70 or 75, but there's a diminishing point, and that's just reality. It's not being mean. It's life, and I've seen it. I've had parents. I've had friends' parents, all the same thing. So I just thought that was are you really going to come out there and say that at this point? And then, so anyways, we'll get to that if you want to talk about that one. And then with the end of school now, we really need to have a quick conversation after the break. We'll have a quick conversation about graduation. And this is going to be a friendly reminder to parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles on how to act at a graduation. So with that, we'll go to a break and we'll sit there. And welcome, Jim Deedlow. I've just offered you're a groomsman in a wedding in September 2028 to a caller. I'm not sure who the caller is. He didn't identify it, but you're going to be the groomsman, and Alexis is going to officiate the wedding. So just put that in your calendar. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. And with that, we'll go to break. Joe, take us to break, and then on the way back, shortly after the break, we'll have LaTanya Spearman from Lake County Assessed Office. We'll talk to her about how to appeal your taxes if you believe your assessment is incorrect.
Summer's coming, and Deep River Water Park is taking applications for all positions. We have jobs both inside and out for all ages that offer great benefits. Free admission on your day off for you and a friend. Free uniforms, paid training, make new friends, flexible scheduling, and more. To apply, just go to deepriverwaterpark.com and you're on your way to a summer of rewarding fun.
Deep River Water Park. It's simply splash-tastic.
From the gas in your car to the heat in your home and the roads that you drive on, our work powers daily life. We are USW Local 71, the proud men and women of the Whiting Refinery. We're not just refinery workers. We're your friends and neighbors, raising our families here, shopping in the same stores, and cheering in the same stands. USW Local 71, powering the region because we are the region.
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues arise, whether it's a car accident, personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards, you need a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation. Call 219-440-7550 today for a free consultation.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people
Have a great day.
is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
For procurement managers, Grainger is the go-to partner that helps keep your healthcare facilities ready for patients. Because there's no time.
And good morning and welcome back. It's 6:56 on WJOB AM. You're here with Dan Repay, who is otherwise considered Jim Delo's snooze button, so he could sleep in or go to hot yoga in the morning. And he happens to be sitting right next to me, and he's going to do traffic because he's got his little handy-dandy app up, and then he wants to talk about some things, and he's going to confirm his attendance at that wedding in September of 2028. Let's just let the man know he wants you to be there. And I think there's kind of a side hustle there with Alexis. She can start marrying people. And I mean, think about it. You get $100 a pop. You can make 5 weddings in a Saturday. That's some good money, man.
Hey,
welcome back.
I want to do traffic because Joe Cimino, for all his wonderful accomplishments, still sucks at traffic.
Wow.
And 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford into the Dan Ryan is lighter than normal. Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65 are all moving along well. We're at that point where some of the projected construction projects haven't all gotten going yet. And school is still in, so it's lighter traffic today, and I'm not really sure why. In terms of the weather, Joe Cimino.
Sure.
Is this your last producing show?
This is my
and
last
clearly he doesn't do weather well either. You just pointed at him, and you had to wake him up.
Good thing ESPN does not deal with traffic.
Yeah, ESPN doesn't do weather or traffic.
Valid
That's
point.
exactly what they did in the interview. They're like, "Are you any good at weather or traffic?" He's like, "Absolutely not. I suck at both." Good, you're hired.
What's your strength? Producing. What's your weakness? Weather and traffic. Okay, good.
I don't think my weather is that bad.
It is. It's terrible. I'm going to be honest with you. No, just kidding.
No, I mean, you're the river guy. You should probably be doing weather,
you're
right?
good. You're fine.
All right.
So,
due to weather, we got Spearman calling.
Sure. Thursday, May 28th, it's a high 65, low 54. It's going to be mostly sunny and breezy, but not as warm with a real feel of 67. Friday, though, it'll heat up with a real feel of 81 and a high of 74 with plenty of sun. Saturday will be much of the same with a high of 68 and a real feel of 71 and a lot of sun. And then Sunday is pretty much copy and paste to end the week with a high of 68 and a real feel of 74. So that's your weather and traffic for the week. Or for the
Bishop Knoll won last night.
My understanding, I think it was 9-3.
Okay, I didn't see, and I wanted to promo that because that's setting up a really big sectional semifinal game on Friday night. If you guys aren't doing anything, it's supposed to be really good. No, it's supposed to be really good weather. And you have East Chicago Central and Gary West playing at 5.
Oh, at Highland and Bishop Knoll.
Highland and Bishop Knoll are playing Friday night.
I was in the wrong sectional. Sorry.
Yeah, we're not. I'm not really following all the sectionals. Cimino can follow his alma mater, Andrean, and we got all sorts of other schools.
You want to get into that discussion again? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm technically like,
oh, it's a BNI guy and an Andrean guy.
Right back. How it started is how we end.
It's okay, right?
Hey,
we get okay.
What time do you get Spearman?
Latanya, the assessor is calling just shortly after 7. So
all right,
about 5
good enough. So I want to promo that we got the games on all week long. But Sam Michaels taking his first year coach at Highland. He's going up against Bishop Knoll, which is Alec. I think it's Alec Rodriguez, and they're both pretty good teams. Sam stumbled a little bit near the end here, but Bishop Knoll is kind of doing really well. So. I know Sam wants to bring him into Highland and then turn him away. So you're going to have.
What day is that on Friday?
That's Friday night at first pit. They have to wait for EC and Westside to finish, so maybe around 7:15.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Sure.
Highland have lights? I don't remember. I think I coached a game there in Babe Ruth All-Stars, but I don't remember if Highland has. Do they?
They're starting the game at 7:15 or 7:30.
I don't know if everyone's going to come with
think?
their headlights on and just start just showing it.
Herbie, pull over, will you?
I don't know.
How many games in
Sam.
when you were in Little League and they have lights and you're like, hey, can you pull? Everybody go pull their cars over.
They're like, you can't start the last inning until 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock or the fifth inning. And it's like 6:59. You're running out there going, yeah, no warm up pitches. We're ready to go. And then the umpire has to sit there and you can barely see the ball in the bottom of the fifth inning. I get it. I've done it. But I'm assuming that high school is a little bit more advanced.
And I want to promo a couple of things. First of all, Fox Point in Lansing has signed up with us to promote all of their concerts and their farmers markets. Their farmers markets are Tuesday mornings during the summer. I mean, there's a farmers market everywhere. They're going to go with Tuesday mornings. And they have a really nice pavilion. You ever go to it in downtown Lansing?
But there are a few very good farmers markets. Nothing against everyone's farmers markets, but like you get to some of the farmer markets, it's not turned into fresh corn and strawberries. It's turned into, look, you can buy,
toilet seat covers.
Yeah, it's like I don't need a T-shirt. Like I was looking for fresh fruit. So I hope it's a good one. I know there's several around here that are pretty good.
There are several, but and also Dyer's is opening. I think it's June 11th. They have a big festival coming up, also, and I just wanted to get your opinion on something.
You can get it.
Believe me, I wrote a little Substack this morning, and I'll put it up later today or tomorrow. And I was just kind of talking about how much crap we as region people and Chicago, and we try to just jam into like mid-May to like,
you have no other option.
There's nothing, man. I mean, it's just like I went to a wedding last week in Milwaukee. I'm going to Brent Brazier's this weekend to go see a Grateful Dead type thing, and I'm going to 2 graduations the following week, 3 the following week after that, and a wedding.
You want me to give you something really depressing?
What?
So in 3 weeks, June 21st, that's the longest sunlight we'll get. From that point forward, all the days start getting shorter again. It's like we didn't have April was a washout. May was and now we're at the end of May and we're like jamming everything. It's like, all right, we got to go to this festival, this festival, this festival. I got to go to that wedding. Alexis has got to at least do 5 or 6 weddings a weekend.
Stop. She's not in a wedding business.
I am her booking agent. I will take 10%. That's all I want.
Whenever somebody asks her to like marry him because she's a judge, I didn't
know if you wanted that known, so I didn't say that.
I have to go, and so I'm like going to weddings where I don't really,
It's like Wedding Crashers. You ever see
Wedding Crashers? So what do you do when you wedding crash? You drink too much because you don't know anybody, right?
You drink and you eat. You're like, hey, how you doing? That's Uncle Sally's kid.
Hey, I want to say thank you to you for doing this. And what was it? One dude called in. He had all sorts of disparaging comments for people.
You know what? You wake up angry. It's okay. It's Thursday. I mean, it's a short week.
It was a little bit funny, but
we started with just I had a bad list of people that I was just angry with, and so I think I just started on that list. I mean,
so one of the things, I'm not angry about it. I'm just like, how can we have so? I mean, think about all the concerts now.
Yeah.
So now, Fox Point is trying to take Wednesday night. Wicker Park, right down the road, is Thursday night concerts.
You have Munster with Tuesday jams.
Munster with Tuesday jams. And then you have Dyer with
they've just got a new pavilion.
So you have a brand new pavilion in Dyer. You have a really established one in Lansing right there. Right down the way you have Munster that built their pavilion.
Yeah.
And then you have the backside of the getting the social center in Wicker Park,
which is always a fun time.
And then you go a little bit further north, and you have a massive the PAV in Hammond. I mean, just in this little bitty triangle, really, or rectangle, there are so many venues and so much music all the time.
And let me remind all my friends that think I don't work for the city of Hammond anymore. I have no affiliation with the city of Hammond.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know, but clearly it's funny because I'll tell you
there's a guy that looks just like you. I see him all the time. He works for the city of Hammond.
I feel sorry for people that work for the city of Hammond. It's like I was in the county building like, hey, do you think you could give me some Jelly Roll tickets? I go, oh yeah.
You know how many people have asked me?
I'm sure. And I can't even imagine people that are like council people and that are working for Public Works or the mayor. I'm going, like, I looked at them, I go, really? The darn thing's sold out. Like, I see you once every 6 months and you're, oh yeah, let me just pull them out of left field. I go, I don't have anything. And I really do feel sorry for the people that are really affiliated with the city of Hammond, because I don't know how they do it, because it's just like, I just put up a sign, no, I don't have tickets, and no, just go to the Ticketmaster or wherever they're selling them at.
Is Latanya on the phone line yet? No? All right. Oh, she is? She just called. All right, we'll get her in a second. You know what that's similar to right now?
What's that?
I have no more IU football tickets, okay?
Okay. I
They're-
can't imagine.
They're already gone.
Yeah.
I know that. I mean, you have no idea how many people called me last year. So I sent them on the first day. I sent them to my brother in Bloomington. And I said, you know, there might be a couple of sponsors that I'll ask, but they're your tickets.
Yeah.
Do what you want. And so my whole family went. My dad, who is the biggest Purdue fan,
Yes, he is.
hates IU more than anybody, called me the other day, said, hey, you know, you know where this is going?
Oh, yeah.
I go, Dad, you know how bad this is getting? When you call me for IU football tickets, the world has turned upside down and cats and dogs are getting together. Hey, thanks a lot for what you do. I'd love to.
I want to point something out, though. You never know what Jed's going to do with those tickets. You know, he took our marketing guy to the NFL Combine instead of his sports director.
Wow. Who is that? Who's your
By the way,
who's your marketing guy?
was the coolest thing.
Yeah, was it? I'm sure it was.
The NFL Combine, we got VIP seats.
Let's just
and
rub
all
it in.
that.
I'm assuming that Joe really wanted to go.
He did.
Okay, so why? Because you did.
And it was not only that; it was like dinner and
maybe this is why he's leaving.
This is
you.
exactly why.
I'm just going to be
I
honest.
was like, oh, God, after this.
I didn't want to go.
Oh, you didn't
So
wanna
here's
go.
the deal. You
Oh.
know, just so everybody knows, the
St.
state-
Elmo's is terrible.
Yeah, the state invested in Heartland Sports, and they have a say in kind of what we do now. And and one of the things is we have to go to these events. You know what the other event I went to?
A wedding?
No, I went to the Live Golf Tournament and sat right next to John Rahm.
Oh, that
and
would have been pretty cool.
Oh, we were like you know, if they invest in you, they expect you to go to these things and they teach you how to do a company better.
I would like
and
to
all
do that. If you ever get any free ones, I'll go to Live.
That was
Oh,
really
if
cool.
I get any tickets, I'll give it to you, Dan. Don't even worry.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
You know what? He's going to ESPN. We're going to have
Thanks, Joe.
tickets everywhere.
Yeah.
Joe.
I got you, Dan.
All
Don't
right.
worry about it.
Who brings you that refresher every morning? You darn right. You still suck at weather and traffic, but I still love you. Anyways, it's 7:08. We should have our caller here.
I hope this is her. It doesn't say her name. So.
All right. Well, mystery person, I think it's going to be. Is this caller? Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning. It is Latanya. How are you doing, Latanya?
I am doing very well, Dan, and yes, it's me.
It's great to hear from you. Latanya Spearman is the Lake County assessor. I talked to her yesterday. I did give her short notice, like really short notice, but I did sell it that you could just call in, and I really appreciate her doing it. But Latanya is the assessor for Lake County, and she is level 3 assessor, which is what you have to be now. You just can't be just a normal Joe or Jane to think that you can do this type of stuff. And so I brought Latanya on because I want her to explain how to appeal your taxes. Because, look, Latanya, and you know this, there are corporations that are sending out letters to taxpayers and saying, our AI-generated static sheet says that you can save $15,000. Just sign this sheet of paper, and we're only going to take 33% of the savings. And I've had people contact me because in my former life, and Latanya and I used to work she was in the assessed office, I was in the auditor's office. We sort of worked together, and I said, look, you don't want to really do that unless it's a super complicated. There's an easier way. And I thought, this is the way, and Latanya's going to explain to everyone like, hey, this is, sometimes there's mistakes made, but there's also some variables that may result in why your neighbor's house isn't the same as your house. So with that, LaTanya, could you explain to the listeners, when they look at their assessment, how they should appeal, if they should appeal, and how easy it is to do it if they feel as though, there may be something that's incorrect, and then we'll also give them the deadline later. But if you could just kind of guide people through whether you could download a form on the internet or whatever. So with that, I'll let you go ahead and explain the process.
Yes, no, thank you, Dan. I really appreciate the opportunity to discuss the property tax appeals process and to provide as much clarity as I can regarding the assessments and how they relate to property taxes. And you said we'll start with, or we'll give the appeal deadline later, but I'll actually start with that because, as you know, Dan, we only have a little over 2 weeks left. So the deadline is June 15th, and that's the deadline each year. Taxpayers would be appealing the assessments reflected on the most recent tax statements. And it's important for taxpayers to understand that the tax statement is not a tax bill. Your assessment is actually an estimated value of your property as of the January 1st valuation date. And so you're correct in that it is not an exact science. In Indiana, we value the property based on its market value in use, which we typically tell taxpayers that means that your property's assessed value should reflect what a willing buyer would pay to purchase it. Assessments are conducted using mass appraisal practices, which means that properties are valued using large sets of market data and standardized methodologies, which are prescribed by the state. So because of that, again, it's not an exact science, but that's why we have the administrative or appeals process, which allows taxpayers to review their assessment, review any inconsistencies in their property record card. We encourage taxpayers to review that annually to ensure that the information reflected there accurately reflects what was there as of Jan 1, which again is the valuation date. It also allows the assessing officials to review their assessment again because the assessments are done in mass or conducted using mass appraisal techniques. The appeal process allows assessing officials the opportunity to take a closer look at individual properties because in mass appraisal, we may not capture some of the unique characteristics of an individual's properties.
Right.
So, the appeals.
And this is great. And everyone's like, holy cow. So like when a taxpayer goes, well, I'm paying too much taxes, you have to drive down into what you said is your property record card. And I'm assuming if you go to the Lake County, maybe I'm wrong, assessor's website, you can pull up, I know on the surveyor's office GIS, you can look at your assessment card, which basically says I have 5 rooms, I have 2 bathrooms and this many fixtures. So that's what you're talking about when you talk about the assessment card, right? You can like say, hey, they have assessed me for a bathroom that I took out 5 years ago. So that's something that you can appeal on. Would I be correct in that?
Absolutely, Dan. And there are 2 different types of appeals. There's the objective, which would address issues such as those you just mentioned. Your square footage is overstated or your property record card reflects more bathrooms than what you actually have. So factual errors, those are objective errors. And then the most common is the subjective appeal. And that's the one where taxpayers say, hey, I don't believe the assessed value accurately reflects the market value of my property. One of the things I want to point out, though, it's important to understand, and I think I may have said this earlier, that your assessment is not your property tax bill. And so, just because your assessment increases by a certain percentage doesn't mean that your taxes are going to necessarily increase by that same percentage, because there are a number of factors that go into determining what a taxpayer actually pays for their property taxes.
Correct. There's a lot of different factors. There's the property tax replacement credit. Now they're changing the deductions which take place in the auditor's office. I know there was a press conference about now seniors or disabled veterans are now 100%. Now that you have to look at the assessment. So you're really looking for people to look at the number and the subjective and the objective. And it used to be a lot easier, I'm sure, for you when you talk about, well, here's subjective. I don't think it's worth what we'll just say $300,000 because when I refinance, they would only refinance me for $250,000, and that was fine when there was the refinancing a whirlwind tour. I would say there was just a lot of refinancing going on. Now with interest rates at what are they at 5, I think, or 5% ish. Most people are locked in at a much lower, so the refinancing isn't there. So subjective is really difficult unless, I guess one good example would be is if your neighbor or someone in your neighborhood, and when you talk about mass assessment process, that's really like neighborhood factor. Like I grew up in the neighborhood of Schleicher. So all Schleicher homes are basically slab houses, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And that's just in all similar structures. There are some, as you said, unique features, but that's how they do it. So the only other way to look at it is, hey, my neighbor 2 doors down sold their house, and they sold their house for, we'll use the $300,000. They sold it for $275,000, and they're assessing me for $300,000. So I deserve. Well, there's a plus and minus factor that you guys are capable of doing. You're not going to be 100% on the button. You just have to be in the, I guess to use the thing, area code. I know there's a percent that you'd like to be as far as close proximity to. So are those good examples of how you can use subjective, whether you're refinancing or a recent sale, right?
Absolutely, and those are great. Those are great examples. There is a percentage, and it's typically, we say 10%. So there's a value range that we look at, and assessments can increase or decrease dependent on local sales activity. Actually, it's the driving force behind mass appraisal. But housing demand, market conditions, economic conditions, or physical changes to the property. All of those things are things that will impact a taxpayer's value, and that will result in an increase or perhaps a decrease in the assessed value.